जाने दो. Come on, give them a tip. I'm trying to manage the question. Okay, कर लेंगे. Let's just first do this. कर लेंगे. So he does लेंगे. So now you go. Get up. जाओ जाओ. हो गया लेना चलो. अभी लेंगे में हो गया ना. लेंगे यार. नहीं कर लेंगे लेंगे. One of the first people I approached was my buddy Atul Mongia, and Atul had been a casting director in Bombay for a long time. So I took the script to Atul and he had a read. He told me, look, material's good and I think there are actors who's going to want to do it. What do you want to do? So I started sort of putting a list together, and one of the names I saw on the list was Shiv Pandit. The first wave of feedback I got was, you're out of your mind. He's been doing Bollywood projects, 3,500 screen releases.
Sudhanshu very smartly came and met me and pretended to have a coffee with me, which actually now in hindsight I think was my audition. So we were playing this little cat and mouse game with each other, like, you know, dancing around each other, and finally Sudhanshu decided to come and have a drink with me, and by the end of the night he gave me something which is referred to as a bit of a twist. So he tells me that, look, I don't think you're right for the part. He hadn't even told me what the character was all about. I didn't even know what the film was about. I didn't even know, I mean, I just felt cheated. I said, how can you decide about my caliber as an actor or my participation in a film till you don't even tell me what it's about?
I went to see him and I told him, look, here's why I don't want to. And he surprised me by saying, look, you don't think I'm going to do it. Maybe you're right, but why can't I just hear it?
Once we did do the narration, Sudhanshu and me had a really heartfelt and a really interesting chat.
There was a strange dichotomy in him. I saw him as this guy that was, I don't know, something. There was an anger in his eyes that I liked. I felt like he was suppressing a very intelligent, articulate, opinionated, smart, sophisticated, business savvy person inside him. On the surface, he was this fun, happy-go-lucky, I don't really care kind of actor. And that dichotomy sort of reminded me of Jay as well. That seemed interesting to me. So, for the part of Alex, we just wanted the best actors possible.
Just one fine day I got a call from Sudhi boy, and he said, I saw your film Peddlers in LA, and I'm so-and-so from so-and-so, and now I'm in Bombay, and so I want to meet. I said, okay, great, let's meet.
The moment he walked in, it was sort of clear to me. That's the guy.
The next thing I know, he called me to Arfi's place for a read, and we read for the restaurant scene and the first scene of the film. And I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything. I read for Sahil and Alex, and I had a ball reading it.
And I just remember feeling this immediate sense of connection and trust with him. And I offered him the part. And except again, I told him, look, I want you to read for both Sahil, I want you to read for Alex. I know you're good. And I remember him being immediately very resistant to Sahil.
But there was something about this Alex guy that, you know, I couldn't shake him off. You know, I sort of fell in love with him.
You told him? I didn't tell him, it came up.
So that's what you did the whole trip? Pitched about me?
Yeah, most of it.
Sahil was a whole other ball game. I remember again, as we went through all these actors, Jitu, and I can never thank him enough, he came up with this young actor, Dhruv Ganesh. He showed me a clip, a different audition that Dhruv had done for another film. And I remember looking at Dhruv going, ugh, who's this tall, scrawny boy? Like, this is not going to be anybody's hero. I remember that evening going to see another casting director friend of mine, sitting at his home and telling him about the project and asking him if he knew anyone. And 30 minutes later, the doorbell rings and in walks, of all people, Dhruv Ganesh. And it was this crazy fortuitous thing. And so Dhruv entered and we ended up hanging out and spending a couple of hours together. And by now I'd become friendly enough with Dhruv that it wasn't really even my decision. I had to let him audition. And this guy launched into the audition, and 30 seconds into it, he had already elevated my scene into a place so good that I knew, forget about me, any director, any writer would be lucky to have this guy on their project. Once he heard about the content, he was like, his first response was, but I want to be a dharma hero. I told him, yeah, that's okay. I totally get that. I get why you wouldn't want to do this film. I don't want to force you. You know, he's like, but can I read it? And again, I felt a kinship with him. So I'm like, yeah, go for it. I sent him the script. And 3 days later, he had read it and he told me, all right, what do you want me to play? Some, as people say, casting is 95% of it. But I think once I had this mix of these three, for me, the project was now officially on.